Strikes in Iran have echoed across seas and markets. North Korea is launching missiles into the Yellow Sea, and economic reactions, especially from India, can show how global conflict hits your wallet. I am Mandatory Fun Day. This is Worldwide Wednesday. Here's everything you need to know in a couple minutes. Stick with me to the end because I'll reveal why India's market shakeup after the US-Iran strikes might forecast the months ahead. We'll cover the US, Germany, North Korea, China, Russia, Turkey, Finland, and India. And I said all that in almost one breath. Fact by fact. Forecast by forecast. If you think that I look slightly better but sound way more annoying than the mainstream media, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Let's get into the video! The US very recently executed precision strikes on Iran's key nuclear facilities in Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. As always, I'm going to give you guys the facts to the best of my ability. I'm not commenting on whether or not the strikes should have happened. People are fired up about this. Armed with stealth bombers, bunker busters, and cruise missiles, Washington says it kept things limited and communicated moves to Congress. Images show damage to hardened centrifuge halls. This is the first time in years the U.S. has struck underground Iranian structures. But what could come of this? Well, we're probably going to see some regional ripples. Iran likely avoids direct confrontation with the U.S., but proxy operations in places like Yemen, Lebanon, or Gulf maritime zones could spike. There could be some oil supply turbulence. Even a hint of hotspots can premiere volatility. Expect price tremors and refining gridlocks. Washington's balancing act, the U.S. policy walks a tightrope. Project military reach while promoting diplomacy, but domestic critics especially like how far is too far. Do you think the U.S. strike will stop Iran's nuclear progress, or will it ignite a deeper conflict? I can already tell that the comments are going to be a dumpster fire over that. Next up is Germany and Berlin. A leak reveals Bundeswehr strategists calling Russia an existential threat. I didn't say any of that correctly. I'm filming this at 1 in the morning. Just bear with me, okay? Bear with me. Germany, long cautious and aligned with pacifist sentiment, is signaling a dramatic shift. The leaked memo warns of hybrid warfare, cyber disinformation, and nudges for a defense budget ramp towards NATO goals of 2.5 to 3% GDP. This could likely lead to a spending surge. Money is moving. Expect billions allocated to air defense upgrades and troop expansion in the next budget. This could have a NATO domino effect as well. Germany's shift could liberate coordination with European defense, joint aerospace projects, live training, shared battle groups. And then the lens could change in reference to public cohesion, from hesitance over spending to consensus about real threats. Political momentum is building. Is Germany preparing enough for future conflicts, or are they overreacting? Let me know in the comments. Please keep the comments reasonable enough that I don't get investigated over them. Okay, can you do that for me, you animals? Thank you all so much for watching this video. I do have a website. It's themandatoryfunday.com. On that website, I've got merchandise that you can buy if you want to support me further. I've also got a link to regulation compliant merchandise, shirts that you can wear under your uniforms. In the membership section of my website, you'll get a 20% discount on all merchandise and access to exclusive content. Videos that I can't show here because they're too revealing. I stay fully clothed, but the information is revealed. Let's get back to the normal video. North Korea launched more than 10 rockets into the Yellow Sea right after US, South Korea, Japan joint drills. Analysts say this was a test for a new medium-range mobile system, likely demonstrating simultaneous multi-launch and potential MIRV-like capabilities. Expect stronger joint exercises from Seoul, Washington, and Tokyo, probably including THAAD and Aegis drills. Pyongyang's export ambitions, well, if successful, this system could be offered for sale. North Korea's emerging defense product model. And then finally, this could have some significant effects on China. Obviously, China would prefer stability because that allows China to operate how it wants, which is generally just putting boats into the Taiwan Strait. But actions by North Korea could put them between a rock and a hard place. Are these new launches going to heighten tensions, or is this just posturing? Let me know your take in the comments below. China has responded to the U.S. strikes in Iran. China's foreign ministry condemned the U.S. strikes viscerally, calling them destabilizing and urging diplomacy. State media highlighted oil prices and speedy mediation. Chinese refiners are reportedly adjusting buying strategies to handle expected crude volatility. But what could happen? Beijing may offer to mediate, posing as a global equilibrium keeper. I think this is fairly likely. It would put them in the position that the U.S. often finds itself in, mediating between conflicts. This could also lead to back-to-back oil deals with Gulf states, insulating China from oil shocks. I think that what we will see, probably likely in the near future, is China painting the U.S. as reckless and projecting its own stability. We're talking Russia now. Russia launched one of its largest drone and missile barrages on Kyiv, Odessa, and Kharkiv. Ukraine reports damage to energy grids and transport links, with NATO championing the potential winter implications. Expect faster shipments of any kind of air defense systems for Ukraine, Patriot systems from NATO, warm reinforcements for winter resistance. Obviously, drones are the new hotness. I think what we can expect is for Ukraine to continue getting more tech from NATO countries in order to combat this, and to continue to see developments in counter-UAV practices. It seems like literally every week something new is happening with these buzzing little things. The noise they make is horrifying, though. Absolutely horrifying. Drone diplomacy continues with Turkish UAVs embedded in Libya and Syria. These aren't bare bones transfers. Pilot training, maintenance contracts, and operational deployments are in place. But what does this mean for the near term, for the future? Turkey is in talks with several governments to expect deals for drones, training services, and regional bases. Greece and EU officials may respond with sanctions or diplomatic rebukes, forcing Ankara to recalibrate. Turkey's NATO profile may allow it to trade regional power for concessions on migration or diplomacy. Satellite imagery is showing Russian armor, artillery, and radar systems staged near Finland's eastern border. With Finland being a NATO member, patrols and reconnaissance flights have increased. So far, there's no violence, but the posture is undeniable. Expect upcoming Arctic-scale drills like Cold Response, featuring NATO air and ground presence in Finland. Finland may request more air defense assets, NASAMS or IRIS-T batteries to be stationed permanently. I don't care if people say the whole acronym and they don't say NASAMS. Okay, I'm a certified personal trainer. I'm certified through the ISSA, but another one that you can get certified through is NASM, N-A-S-M. So I'm going to say NASM. I don't care what you think. Despite no aggression yet, Moscow is showing it's ready to contest NATO territory. Expect a tense Arctic standoff into winter. India's stock market reacted swiftly to the U.S.-Iran strikes. Energy-linked stocks and defense equities rallied. The rupee dipped, then rebounded. Analysts pointed to hedging by domestic refiners and expectations of increased defense spending. Indian firms are locking in currency and crude contracts to manage volatility, costs passed to consumers by Q4. As the U.S. continues strikes, India may strengthen defense ties and technology transfers with Washington. Watch for some bilateral deals. All right, that's your summary. It's the best I could do. This is a low-budget production, okay? I'm in a room with a curtain behind me. There's no window behind that curtain. That curtain's hung on a wall. I really, really appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate your support, and I love you. I love you very much. If you like this kind of stuff, watch one of my other videos on geopolitics, because all I do is shout at the camera.